And so, with that in mind, we've got so many sports testimonials coming back saying personal best, world records, what have you, that we've realized that we're out of balance a bit. And we want to make sure, because we know that, our product is not just designed for athletes. Yes, you can do fantastic with it. But what about just everyday people getting amazing results? I'm sleeping better. I've got more energy, more vitality, my bouncing back to life, what have you. We need those testimonials now, please, because we want to make sure that we don't tip the boat too far in the sports angle. And if we do, it's your fault because you didn't put your testimonial in there, right? Just joking. But it's all of our faults. We all need to make sure we write them down. So I've got a great testimonial. You've got a great testimonial. It doesn't have to be about breaking a world record, but we'd love to hear it. I will say one thing, because I'm not compliance. Don't shoot the messenger. But I have seen some of the testimonials in the last 24 hours coming in, and it makes me scratch my head with bewilderment when I do see certain things written there that we know we can't say. And I'm talking, one of them was this long with about 10 different things, medical conditions and things. And I'm like, you've never read compliance, have you? So if you haven't done it, please make sure you read the couple of pages that are in the compliance document. There is a way of saying something without saying something. And I say that just to say, if we can talk about boosting energy, boosting immune system, detoxing your cells, reducing inflation, all that stuff. We don't have to say, I was dead and I'm now alive thanks to Neumi, and here are my 45 different medical conditions because of it. So with that in mind, I think it's a great way to kick off today, because today's session is one of a series. And so we did one event. I was recommended to meet Dr. Jonathan Glass from Karen Justice, one of our crowns, and we did an event, and it was just rave reviews, and the amount of playbacks we got just dwarfed a lot of the other events. So then we ran a second one. So we've covered glutathione, the secret to your liver, your lungs, and today it's going to be the secret weapon for your kidneys. So with that in mind, please welcome Dr. Jonathan Glass.
Thank you so much. So happy to be here. So tonight, I'm going to talk about the amazing benefits of glutathione on the kidneys, and a little bit about the kidneys in general, so that we have a better understanding of the kidneys, how the organs, how everything works together. So, as we know, or many of us know, that glutathione is made up of 3 amino acids, cysteine, glycine, and glutamate. And interestingly, the glutathione production, the body's always making it. I mean, we make it, and that's why this is such an amazing product, because we make it, but as we get older, we make less of it. And also, the more stress, oxidation, toxicity, things like that, aging, inflammation, any of those things will tax the body's supply of glutathione. So when we have a lot of oxidation or free radical damage, the body will try to make more glutathione, or whatever's there, it'll get used up. More inflammation. If there's immune issues, if someone gets a cold or a flu, we use up more oxidation. If we're exposed to toxins, which every single day we're exposed to hundreds, sometimes thousands of different toxins. So the body's always making glutathione and using it up. But in today's wild and crazy world, to keep the balance point so that we're actually moving in the direction of healthy detoxification, healthy energy production, healthy immune system, we want to keep things moving in the right direction rather than becoming deficient. So it's interesting that the liver is the most significant producer of glutathione. And then we have, like we talked about last week, we talked about the lungs, the lining of the lungs also are a significant place where the body creates glutathione. The third most prominent place that the body makes glutathione from is the kidneys. And, we can kind of see how the degree of the importance, it's almost like the more important the organ is. Of course, every organ's important, but without a healthy liver, we definitely can't live. Without healthy lungs, and definitely without healthy kidneys, we don't function. What do the kidneys do, basically? Just really simply, they filter blood. They remove waste from the blood. They also remove excess fluid from the body. That's what urine is. And it keeps the right amount of fluid in the blood. And it helps keep the balance between the electrolytes and minerals in the body so that there's a balance. And the minerals are like the spark plugs of the body and the cells. And if the minerals get out of balance, we don't create energy properly. It's like the electricity. So it's a source of the electricity in the body. So the kidneys are super important for keeping the delicate balance of the electrolytes, the minerals, keeping the blood clean, keeping the right amount of fluid in the blood, and keeping the electrical charge on the red blood cells so that they don't collapse onto each other and become like a stack of pancakes. We want each red blood cell to be an independent unit so that it can carry oxygen really efficiently throughout the body. So that's really basic with the kidneys. And what do they do also? They regulate blood pressure, red blood cell production, and the acid alkaline balance. Some of you might have heard the importance of keeping the terrain not too acidic and not too alkaline either, but we want the blood wants to be at the pH at about 7.4. So everything is a very delicate balance. And the kidneys are the most significant organ that does it. They're super, super important. Now, they make glutathione. And there's these things in the kidneys called tubules. And it's the little tubes. They're very delicate, actually, and they're very tiny. And that's where the blood goes through. So the liver basically dumps blood into the kidneys, and the kidneys then have to filter out a lot of the toxins that the liver have dumped. So guess what? What does that mean? It means that without glutathione, the tissues of the kidneys can become damaged from free radicals, from toxins, from chemicals, from heavy metals. And what the kidneys do, they do the second generation of conjugation, which means it makes a substance water soluble so that it can be leave the body and not be recirculated into the bloodstream. So the kidneys are super, super important. When there's kidney damage, then those tubules get inflamed, and then people start having things like high blood pressure. Okay. So, we hear about high blood pressure all the time. A lot of the reason for that can be due to inflamed or damaged kidneys. Many people just think it's the blood vessels. It's often far more sophisticated than that. If the blood vessels in the kidneys, the major filter of the body, if those are inflamed, then when the heart beats, it has to beat harder in order to push the blood through the kidneys. So we want those kidneys to be super, super healthy. One of the main things that supports the health and integrity of what's called the endothelial lining, the inner lining of the very delicate kidney tissue is, guess what? Is glutathione. So glutathione is hugely important for the kidneys. Glutathione also helps to stimulate the body's production of something called nitric oxide. Nitric oxide, what does that do? That dilates or that opens up the blood vessels so the blood flow can improve. As people get older, the endothelial linings of the kidneys and other blood vessels tend to get damaged due to so much oxidation, stress, chemicals, heavy metals, and toxins. Then those linings don't make a sufficient amount of nitric oxide, which relaxes and opens the blood vessels, which creates more blood flow. And again, then what happens? High blood pressure. So these things are super important. It's a very intimate relationship between the liver and the kidneys in terms of glutathione production. So we're very, very fortunate to have a product that we can take regularly every day. We don't need injections. We don't need to bring it into the body with a fatty coating on it, so that the body has to work that much harder to get it in there. So the other interesting thing with the kidneys is when the liver creates glutathione, it uses it to detox many substances.